All right. See, I always love that. And I say it every single time the On the Cusp show starts, which is that nice little live red button that goes off. And this is episode number 15. And we're just talking to Charles in the studio how much I miss doing these shows. And predominantly because the guests that come in these shows are really just solid, beautiful people. And Charles is one of those people. And we'll get to understand and learn more about him and why I say that. So, as always, to frame the show, On the Cusp is just a show about people getting together that have the same DNA, cut of the same cloth, and just sitting on a park bench, shooting the breeze about life and everything in between. But at the same time, hopefully leaving people with a feeling of inspiration, motivation, and hearing different journeys and the challenges that come with what we aspire to grow into, which is that best version of ourselves. So ultimately, the show is really about that, is really leaving people thinking a bit more about their lives personally, professionally, spiritually, and everything else. So how do I know Charles? Well, we're going to do a little preamble of how we know each other, because typically I have a relationship or background with each one of the guests on OTC. So Charles, I think we were saying almost about 14 years or so ago. We'll talk a little bit about it. So Elias Sekeli was the gentleman who really kind of brought us all together for a very special project that involved Solio, Kenya. And the background on that is thousands of students in the Ottawa area were, we'll say, auditioning, or almost like a lottery, to be picked to be 6 students to go on this very special endeavor, which was to go to Solio, Kenya. And I'm trying to remember, did they build a school there? Was that what the students were there to do in Solio?
Yeah, they had a project for building school classroom. So yeah, we had we built I think 3 of them. I guess I'm not sure, but I can't remember. But I think 3 of classroom.
Oh,
At
okay, okay, cool. So I thought that was the case, and I was sure there was 2, but that's really cool. 3. So thanks for that, Charles. So the Sophie Gregoire Trudeau, before she was the first lady for Canada, back when she was part of the group, and then her cousin was part of Garnier. I think L'Oreal was the sponsor there. So how that worked was I was already in Vancouver, and Elia asked me if I'd be interested in being part of a project of this kind, and he had me at hello, because anything that's philanthropic and paying it forward, and seeing people, especially young people, being able to go and be a part of something like building, a few schools in Kenya is pretty special. So I was the fitness arm. I was the person who was putting in the Facebook private group the workouts that this group needed to do to prepare to do this climb. And so I was so stoked to do it. And we did 3 individual trips back to Ottawa to meet the team, if you will, and the 6 students. And Elliot shot some really cool webisodes, which you can see on Vimeo if you ever want to see his channel. And what was really neat about that was how technology, we could talk a little bit about that, you being a cinematographer, is how technology was granted us the opportunity to be able to do this and be in different places in the world. And I'm sure you remember when we played that virtual soccer game with
yeah,
with you guys, right? So
yeah, I remember.
that was super cool. So we were in
Yeah, it was amazing.
the dome in Ottawa, and the big screens, and we had all these elementary school students running around playing soccer, and then live streaming from Kenya was all you guys and playing. So that is a special spot in my heart, that whole experience. And before I turn it over to you, just one more cool thing. I remember Elia, he said, pay attention to your phone. You will get a call from my satellite phone at some point. And he called me as something like 9 o'clock my time here in Vancouver. And I see this goofy long number show up. And he called me from the climb, and he said, "Hey, I just want to let you know we succeeded. We made it to the top." And our guide said, "Wow, I've never seen a group, so fit and so well prepared that we allowed the group to stay a little bit longer than usual at that altitude." So anyway, that's the kind of like the background on how Charles and I first met. So what were your experiences with that endeavor? Like what are the main things that you take away from that experience, Charles?
It was amazing and very diverse to meet all the students from Kenya and from Canada, and being a part of that being a part of that family. It actually motivated me to do even more. There's like these guys coming all of them to Kenya and want to climb the mountain with me. So that made me even work more harder. And after getting to the summit, that was my first time to have no worries at all. You see, you can see the sunrise coming out. The air you breathe like a fresh air now, even if it's a high latitude, but it was like amazing. You can see that was the picture in the mind, the whole mountain climbing, all the whole mountain experience gave me. It was like you can do anything you want. You can achieve anything if you put your mind onto it. And after seeing what I did there, I said, "Wow, this is my first." I actually said, "Wow, that's my first time to see the sunrise coming on the on the on the sky. The cloud. See the sun coming out was a beautiful moment up there." So
And I
that
like, sorry, Charles, I like what you just said, especially about, anything's possible if you put your mind to it. And it's experiences like that, especially climbing, right? Especially having to do climbs that require a lot of physical demand, but more importantly, it's the mind that it either, persists or quits on you. So when you go through an experience like that, you show yourself that you can, and then you're excited about the next adventure, right? And then you go, I can do it. I want to reach out for more and grow. So I appreciate that comment. We talked in the studio a little bit about you being a cinematographer, and which is really interesting because for the listening and viewing audience, Elia is a filmmaker, photographer, adventurer, and so where did it start for you, the cinematography, the interest and the passion for it?
Okay, the interest came. We are down at the coast. Gavin took us school holidays. Took down, took us down the coast of Kenya. So we have this group from England. The students from England came came for Africa adventure and all that, and charity. So they came down, so we had okay, you guys, you have been so working hard on this in school, so why not coming down to Mombasa with us for a holiday, for like a 1 week holiday? So we are there. So I remember this young lady called Andrea having this. It was that era of digital camera, those digital camera, the small one, handycam digital era. So I think I saw her taking some photos, and I was interested in like, what the hell? Sorry, I said, what is that? So I took it. "Okay, can I see it?" So when I was going through the pictures, so I accidentally deleted I formatted the card. So all her picture was gone, and she was so mad at me. She could see
Oh
her
no.
face. Yeah,
Oh no.
her face
Oh.
was red, like, oh my God. She was so mad at me. Like she didn't even want to see me. I'm like, so uh, I was someone. I was like, with Gavin summoned me. I remember. I told me, why did you? I didn't know. You always ask. You ask, and I was like, okay. So the next morning, I went to her tent and stole the camera again. It was around 5ish in the morning. I
Okay.
stole the camera. So I went to the beach. I waited to the sunrise and I took some photo. So and I said I went back and told her, hey, yeah, it's your camera. I'm so sorry what I did. Uh, can you take a look what some few photos I took, but it's not good as yours. But hey, at least what I can do. So she was going through like, wow, wow, these are so beautiful. Did you take this? Like, yeah, yeah, I did. I did stole your camera and take. I took them. Like, yeah, these are so beautiful. This also. So and said, thank you. These are. She said she told me, thank you for what you have done, and these are so beautiful than mine. I said, oh, really?
Wow.
Uh, so that was my turning point to be interested in photography and cinematography. So Gavin took very keen eye on me. So it was this. There is something about this guy with the camera. So why not connect him with Elia? So there is when told me, Charles, there's this guy coming down and he's coming to film some few stories. But I know you are interested in filming making, so why not go and maybe learn one thing or two? And then there we clicked with Elia, and then after that was full of adventure till now.
So I love that. That's interesting. A little story, like an
Yeah,
origin story where it all starts, and then with just deleting all the pictures. Ouch, yeah.
yeah,
And then grabbing the camera and going out there on your own, and not necessarily knowing what you're doing, but clearly you had an innate sort of talent and eye. And we'll get into some pictures in a bit. But for the viewing audience, so this gentleman here is who we're talking about. This is Elia. So very, very special guy, has been part of some pretty cool projects and still is part of some cool stuff. The guy has not stopped. And then the group we were talking about that went
yeah.
is here. So you'll see you've got the old crew here, right? So you got the students from Ottawa, and then we've got the group, and then we know who this handsome guy is right over here, and off to the left in the orange, second in from the left. So that's what we've been speaking to. And so cinematography, Charles is like, I love this. This is my passion. This is what I want to do with my life. So maybe share some of the projects that you've been a part of and some of the things that you've done.
Okay, I've been there's actually some is running till now, and is called Tete. Is in cable TV in Kenya, and I guess in Africa. Yeah. So I've been part of that, and also another one is running right now, also in the cable TV. I did a few episodes, or like just like a cinematographer. Then I left because of few reasons. So still running. It's called Sanura. It's still on the cable TV. Uh, and then we had another story. The story we did called Kaidi and Naidi. So there's two. So after that, we did Fields of Taita, which is currently hopefully get picked. Hopefully, we are still on and praying for it to be picked.
Well,
So yeah,
wish you success there. A follow-up question: do you have how do I put this? Is there one type of cinematography that you love doing more than another? Is there a certain style or a certain, because Elliot does the documentaries, right? And that was kind of his flavor. For you, is there a flavor that you like more than another? If you could pick one.
for me, I hate action with passion.
Sorry,
I like
what do you
I
hate?
hate I hate action movies.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, so I like true story, inspiring story, that some story that move people, move lives, and I like capturing that moment and said, wow, wow, if this is my lens, it will be powerful to showcase or to televise everything to someone else, or to transform that story to someone else through my lens, and you can inspire you, in a way. That's I like shooting inspiring stories that will inspire a generation to come, human mind and a human family as whole.
I especially love what you just said, and it doesn't surprise me that that's your genre or what you are passionate about. I'm very much the same way. I have so many little random moments, whether I'm in the car and it's car karaoke, it's a song or something, or it's a post that I put on Facebook. It's because something inspired me, and I want to share that. Or like you're saying, you're seeing something in a moment, you want to grab it and make it forever for life, and then being able to share that inspiration with other people. And the other part that I find just amazing about you is you're also trying to impact through your craft and your work. You're trying to impact and tell a story, kind of like what On the Cusp is we're really just sharing a story or stories about humanity and life. And the fact that you connect with that is, and that's your work, is awesome. So just kind of random here, I'm going to put up a picture and you can talk about it. So just like the
This
colors here are, so what's in this picture? Tell me what's the story
wow.
here?
This was actually an island called Funzi. It was on an evening, so I was just sitting it down and having a moment of breathing the air before beach air, and then this guy just came on. You see the tree? Just came from the street. I was like, wow, it's a good friend, and this is a story. So this guy was getting to water, actually going for a night fishing. So that is like his day is like it just began. His day just began while the world is going to rest. You see?
So he was starting his fishing at night. So he
Yeah,
fishes at night, not during the
yeah,
not during the day. Okay,
yeah.
so that's interesting. So why at night and not during the day, Charles?
Uh, I think at night he has in the boat. I think he has some like light which attract fish.
Okay.
So when the fish see a light, some sort of light, they will being just being drawn there. So it will be for him to be easier for him to catch the more fish than during the day the light all over. So
Well,
there's
that
nothing
make
new. The
that
fishing will
makes
be like nothing new. So what will you ask for? So this guy is clever. So he comes the night with a source of light and they put it there. So the fish will come just running to the source of the light and then it just be
then
easy
it's
for
just
him to catch
easy
it.
catching, eh? Well, that's smart.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And we talked
Yeah.
about this next picture in the studio that I absolutely love. I think this is such a
Oh,
fantastic shot. So again, Charles, if you may go ahead, share a little bit about this.
oh, so was the evening, just finished the day shooting, and this is the sound guy for me called Aenda. So and I saw this sun going down, and I told hey, can you pause for me? I see something I can do. And say the guy said no, my feet are dirty, so why not wash my feet? When we have a point of water, and it's like okay, just do your thing, and I did this, and they took wow, it came out very nicely, and
That is
that's the
such a
picture.
beautiful picture. It's like right out of a National Geographic magazine, to be honest with you. Like
They,
I would put that on my wall anywhere in the house easily. That's such a beautiful shot.
hey,
Um,
feel free to print it. Feel free. I would love to see it at the end of the picture. I would love to see it in the,
You're very kind, but you should be able to make some money off of this stuff too, Charles.
and I'm
I know
humble.
those cameras that you have are not cheap. So speaking of cameras, whatnot, again, just kind of random. Just I have a bunch of pictures here, and it's ultimately to tell a story about Charles and who he is, and capture his different traits. So here he is with one of his cameras there, and then the there's the big boy camera, eh?
Yeah, that's a black magic.
That's really really cool. And then I want to put a picture up because we talked about this in his studio, and one of the things that I love about seeing you on Facebook is you always have this wonderful energy about you. Like you're kind and very humble, and you're grateful. And so this picture here, so these moments every so often that you post, like where are you in your mind in that moment, Charles? Like what's
Uh,
happening?
this one, I was reflecting back whatever I've gone through, whatever I've been until to in the present moment, and I say, hey, it's been. I have to be thankful to the universe, to Almighty, for giving this moment to breathe this air and to give me this opportunity to see another beautiful day and be grateful. That's all. I'll just say to thank you and living the moment and to say, hey, I'm thankful for this day.
And again, I knew that this time together on the show would be very reciprocal. And you say something that you hope for everybody, who's walking around this very large but small planet, is to be grateful, but look at the opportunities that we have, and we get presented with opportunities. And a lot of the times we don't reach for them and grab them or walk through that door, or capitalize, or capitalize on those moments for different reasons, right? Where maybe we're afraid, we're too busy, we're stressed, anxiety, etc., whatnot. But you having an understanding that, hey, I've been granted this opportunity. It's like every day that you're above ground. What are you going to do with that day, right? What are you going to do to make a difference? And I always talk about, Charles, that some of the little ones, right? It's just little things sometimes that you do. What's your intention, like when you get up in the day? What's a day in the life of Charles? Where's your head at? You wake up, you get out of bed, and you go, all right, today, what's happening?
I always say to the universe, every time I wake up, if I put a smile on someone's face, like even if you are staring you and smile and you put a smile, my day is made. If I just staring you like hey and you say you smile back and I smile back and they say, hey, I did it. That's I'm grateful. That's a small thing in just small piece of something is actually can make a lot of difference, you know. And that's what I look forward for in every day. I look forward to making someone smile, making someone and being grateful for that day. And to say, I have this moment, I have only this moment to live today. Tomorrow you never promise, that
Yeah.
moment when you do something and you be grateful for that moment because tomorrow you never know.
Yeah, no, agreed, spot on. And in that little making a difference, I'm the same way. I try to be funny as much as I can, because humor is therapy, it's healing. And life's tough enough, right? For everybody. And but we make a decision, we have a choice in what kind of attitude we want to have, right? I mean, you be like, oh, I'm upset, so I'm going to be upset today, and I'm going to let everybody else know it. Is where, I mean, your energy is so refreshing. It's like a shot in the arm, really. And here's another picture. It's just, I'm in that moment with you, Charles. Like these pictures,
Yeah.
like they're very genuine moments. They're not like, here I am, I'm going to take a cool picture. It's like I can feel where you're at, and that's what comes through with you, which is really, really awesome.
This
And yeah, go ahead.
this one, just like letting the universe blessing come to you. I'm all open. I'm all open. Just bring it, and then the T-shirt said it all. Let be there the light, be the light, and they say, I'm all open. Just bring me that energy, bring me that opportunity, bring that blessing, you know. And like yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for this.
Right on, right on.
Yeah.
And speaking of blessings and being ready for life, we talked about this earlier too. Is yeah, I found out that she had four sisters, and
Yeah.
we had a
Man,
good laugh in the studio, and I was immediately like, wait, damn, you're the only boy and
yeah.
four sisters. I'd like to hear a little bit more about, if you're okay with it, about your sisters and life growing up with four sisters as the only man.
Okay. For me, I didn't grow with my sisters much because back then after my dad died, it was like I was like 7 years. Yeah, 7 years. 7 years. I was kind of in the street from start. So
Oh,
I was in the so my family have four sisters. I'm in the middle of. I have two ahead of me and two following me. So that's like growing up. So that's when I was in the street. That's when I found Gavin, that the gentleman who introduced me to earlier, and then he's the one who actually uh, sorry, the Siri was going somewhere. Okay, so that's why eh,
yeah,
that's
can you
why
still hear
every
me?
time in the Siri.
Yeah, your streaming was a little bit funny there, but
Okay,
you're good now.
so that's when wait a minute. Yeah, there you go. Good. So after that, Gavin took me in, and he's the one who actually educated me and brought me out of the street. So I was separated with my sisters like almost 10 years, almost 10 years.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So we actually met. We actually got back together, like back together with when I was about to go to high school. So so all that long, I didn't have them. So I didn't have, but as I even now I try to spend much as time as possible with them, because I was having that gap, being in their life. But I'm grateful. So being protected brother, big brother, so because I'm only guy, so I always like they bring me stories, and my small sister, I'm always protective about her. And then hey, that's not the type of your boy, like, oh my god. But yeah, but yeah, I'm
Well,
always try to be a brother to them. Always there. Yeah.
well, cool. Thanks for sharing that. And so you're right in the middle. So it's like a Charles sandwich then, eh? You're like
Yeah.
there.
Oh yeah.
You're the sandwich, right? So when you say protecting, yeah. So that's a lot of protecting there, Charles, to do. Four sisters. You have to be keeping your eye out quite a bit. So do you all live in the same area? Are you all very close?
No, no, no. I right now I live down in Mombasa.
Okay.
Yeah. So my three sisters living back in Nairobi. So one is actually down in Mombasa too. So we met whenever we have chance because of busy schedule of life. Right
Yeah.
now life is too hard, and then we have to keep on running. You know. Yeah.
So
So
how far from you? Because I don't know the geography. It'd be cool if I had a map out of Canada. So how far are your three sisters from where you are? Like as far
it's
as
just it's like a 6 hours drive, and
okay,
that's the driving, and oh no, no, 8 hours driving,
okay,
and with the train 6 hours, with plane that's 35 minutes in Nairobi.
yeah. Plane is definitely the better choice. But yeah, so that's far enough.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
far enough from each other. Yeah. Um,
yeah.
are you planning on having a family yourself at some point? Sorry, just random questions for you.
Oh yes, actually I have a son, but not married, and but
Oh,
we are
okay,
separated.
okay, right
Yeah,
on.
I have a son. I got the son when I was in college doing my feeling.
Cool.
So yeah, so but I'm not married yet, and mm, I don't want to go into details into that. But
No, that's
my
fine. That's fine.
yeah,
You don't
my
have
my
to.
ex, my child, my mother of my son, we are not together anymore. But I see, yeah, I have a son who
Very
is like 8 years, 8 years now.
8 years. Okay, that was my next question.
Yeah,
Thanks. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Busy at that age, and so cool.
yeah,
You being a
yeah.
dad. So I'm going to throw up a couple other pictures here. This one I pulled off your Facebook too. So I just think this is really neat. So what am I looking at here, Charles?
This one is like a previous night train. So this is in the evening. So this will show you how much this small boat can hold that together in its rolling water. To show
Mhm.
how much, even if the water was running outside, was pouring outside. This one it captures some. So that's show you in life how much blessing we have, how much time we have to catch. some, you know,
Yeah.
how much blessing we have to, and we hold into us, and like behold, this is my blessing. So this is like a that's the piece. If you allow me to interpret, this was what was running. This was what was running on my mind when I captured that picture.
Okay. Yeah, that's a really beautiful shot too as well. And then, well, I showed you this one in the studio. I have to. I'd love to know the story behind this one because this next picture, man, like, bam, bam. Look
Oh
at you,
yeah,
Charles. Man,
thank you.
that that's hot. That's
Oh,
hot.
thank you, thank you, thank you. So this one, we this one was a launch, so we just came from a launch of a TV show that was Pete. That's like how many years? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 years back, I guess. 4 years back, yeah. So we said, yeah, can you just get in studio and maybe this moment and capture some photos for that? So actually, if you go back to my page, there's some more. We have it with the crew there. So
Yeah, no,
actually,
yeah, there's a bunch of good pictures there, but yeah, this is such a great shot. I mean, for me, because it's in a moment, right? Like
yeah.
it's just perfectly captured. And plus, you look, I mean, incredibly dapper there. So that's super awesome. So looking at the future a little bit. So what do you have your eyes and your mindset on, Charles, for the future? Obviously, you're a very creative guy. You like being busy, etc. So what do you have going on?
Okay. Right now, I'm involved in a project which is I want to. There's a team down there in Nigeria for young guys. I'm trying to mentor. They are filmmakers, so I'm trying to get down there. Maybe hopefully when I get some funding and all that to buy some a few equipment and go down there and teach them how to shoot. Maybe just basic learning. So we have this group I was introduced to by a guy in the Facebook, a friend of mine called Anderson Seal. Maybe you can follow him. He's a very good guy, a friend of mine. So it's called C Act something, yeah. So and we met on Zoom and we talked until this project came up and there's uh, kids down in Nigeria which is very hard there. Actually, it's very hard there to for them to acquire proper film education. So and I was in that, and it actually took me back when I was doing my filming school, and that I could not access school maybe for that, and it actually took me, and I said, yeah, I can do something. If I can do something, why not? And I would love to go down there, maybe hopefully when I get some funding and get some filming equipment, maybe camera, maybe anything, just to go down there and share with what I have, my knowledge, and this is free, these are God-given talents. Why not share with them too? And maybe someone they can pick one or two things and make a difference in their life too. You know.
Yeah, no, absolutely awesome that you want to give of your time. So you speak of funding. So do you often look for funding for different things that you're looking to do, or like how does that work for you?
For that, I just work on my some even paid gigs and maybe put aside a certain amount. It may take me 1 year, 2 years, but for one project to be done. But hey, step by step, small by small, little by little, and it will actually get back because we are not like in out there like we are well developed. It actually take time to put pieces in together. But yeah, and then I open to everyone who want to come in and maybe do some project with me. And then I say, hey, I have this idea. What can you so? And actually, I have a project which is actually giving me some headache right now. It's a script. Yeah, it's been in my hand like two years now. It's giving some wedding design, and it's actually I believe it's time to get it out now and see if it can see the day of the light. Yeah, I wanted to shoot it, and it's about a very beautiful story about a girl child, and yeah,
So you said you mentioned script just now. Like you said, you had a
yeah,
script for 2 years, and this is for a
yeah,
movie. Is it a movie?
this is a feature film. So yeah, the feature film.
So did you write the script? Is this your creation?
This is my idea. So I basically the being idea is you own the story. So just you tell the script writer this is what I want. This what is I'm imagining the story could be. This is so maybe you put your head together and you see what come up. So we came up with a pretty good story for what to see, and I think that it's ready to be out there.
Okay, so have you started filming that yet or not yet?
Not yet, because
No.
not have because I have not gotten any. I got not the fund to do it.
Okay, okay. So how long would you think that something well, that project, that script, how long do you think that would take to put together? I'm always
Uh,
curious about that.
may take like the whole project from pre-production, production, and actual shooting take and editing. So that will take almost let's say 4 months to 5 months, probably.
Okay. That's not
Yeah.
that's not too that's not too bad. So
So,
when it comes to editing and putting stuff together, right? Because you get all your footage, right? Whether it's your film footage, um, you must be pretty picky. Okay, you must be pretty
yeah.
picky in your editing room, if you will. Of how do you know that your final product, that okay, I'm happy
Mhm.
with it and I can let everybody else see it. How do you know that, Charles?
Because you are there, like being a cinematographer, I see a lot of moment, you see, with my lens. So I just sit there and see this is actually you actually know in the field, you know this one will make it to the to the editing or the final project to the final. So you always feel that in the field you have shot something and you feel oh you see it's a moment. This moment must it will make it.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I totally get that. And then it's also tr- trying to tell the story that you saw, right? That you captured. So you could have all this footage, and then those moments where you go, "Oh yeah, this is going to make it to the editing room. This is really really good." But then it's also putting it together in a way for me or anybody else who sees your project to hopefully understand it in the way that you put it together in your head too, right? So there's a lot of it's very much a very creative process.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So you also mentioned earlier that you were doing a project, a collaboration with a couple of people. I think on your Facebook you have a little bit of those like highlights. It was like a TV show. Was that? Did I get that right, Charles?
Yeah. It was a TV, so we are hopefully get picked. So right now I cannot talk much about it because it's on the process, it's on the pipeline. So sorry guys,
No,
forgive me that.
hey, no, that's good. And we talked about a few things. Just kind of
Yeah,
high level touch on them, just for the viewing
yeah,
audience to understand that Charles is busy in the background with some very cool things, and I'm
yeah,
anxious to see them come out. And I know you've got another great project coming up in the fall that we can't talk about,
yeah,
but looking really forward to be able to let the cat out of the bag on that one because playing a very small but so that's super cool. So do you do any? You mainly do cinematography, but you talked about the picture thing a little bit. Do you do much picture work for people, weddings?
actually no, very surprising. No, I don't do weddings or and maybe yeah, cause I just go out there and feel the real life, the real things, and just waiting for things to happen and all that. But weddings, like you have proposed, that is actual what do you call it, predated. This way you just do that. Is a lot of work for me. So I'd rather go to the beach, maybe somewhere, maybe maybe in an organization, or just somewhere you don't know me. I'm a photographer or anything. I'm just there minding my own business. Oh, that's a moment to let me. I get that, and that's all.
Cool, cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I can appreciate that. You have a scenario where you're taking pictures of everything is sort of like you said, predicted or staged, right? And it's versus just creative moments and just kind of freestyling and just catching, the moments that you want to share. So one of the questions that I had, and again, this show is your show. What you want to talk about is you mentioned when you were younger. You talked about your sisters. If I heard you correctly, you said you're on the street for a bit. Was it? Did I
yeah,
hear you right? And
yeah,
so I don't know if you want to share, but I mean, I think it's interesting. Again, what on the cusp is all about our personal journeys, but it's not always. I mean, you're smiling and you're always sharing your really good energy and your good vibes, and I'm the same way, but that's not without the challenges that you get hit with
yeah,
in life, right?
yeah.
And you talked about being on the street. So what was that like? So that's the first part of the question. What was that like for you? How long was that for you? And where did you get to a point where you got yourself out of that situation into where you are now?
So it took me like it was like uh, maybe down to 10 years down, maybe almost 10 years. So after my dad died back in 1997, 1995, 96. So I had no choice to go to the street. Uh, so back then, my uncle was very bad uncle. He could beat you when he's drunk, so he could beat you like for no reason. So I was like, me, I have two
Uh,
choice. Yeah, I had two choice there. Maybe go back to where my uncle is, or go to the street. And I remember we are we are with my sister, my immediate sister, who I would follow. My not so big my sister, but the second born sister. So I told her, hey, you know what? You just go to my grandma place, and because you're a girl and I'm a boy, so I can take care of myself. So, and from there, I just vanished, and then they never saw me again. So, and I was in the street of Nairobi, the busy street of Nairobi. You can imagine all that
wow.
yeah, being that young and all that, and but yeah, it took me a while. So then one day, this I saw Gavin on the in the street of Nairobi talking to a phone. I was like, hey, this guy, this is a Mzungu, so we call white man Mzungu. So before that, so we call white man Mzungu. So hey, this is a Mzungu over there. I'm feeling angry for that, and I say, hey, I was showing him in my like with action. Hey, I need some food. Can you hang up the phone? I need some food. It was that era of those big phone, talk about mobile phone, Motorola. I can remember
Yes,
the two
yes.
big
The
Motorola.
the the, the brick, the big brick.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, hey, can you hang up? I want some food. Like, okay, hold there. I'm talking to a phone, just hold there. Oh, okay, okay. I'll stay here. I will hold it. Wait for you. So like, yeah, waiting. So finally the phone was over, and he came and they said, so I didn't know much about English. So I was like talking broken English. I was like, it was finding rough for him to understand me. So he asked for a translator. So a security guard came and asked, okay, what are you saying? So I'm telling, I was asking, tell him I want food, I'm hungry. I don't know much about you guys, but I'm hungry, I need some food. I was like, okay, okay, what's up? So cab is really inside the hotel. So getting to the hotel, I was told, no, you cannot get inside. I was like, all that here on the that clothes or, torn off clothes. I was like, no, you cannot get inside here. So Gavin really took to with them and said, no, this is my guest. Your hotel, you say you are permitted to bring a guest. So this is my guest. So you have to come. Oh, like so it was a drama there. So for a while, but finally they allowed me to enter. So I was told and go to upstairs to the restaurant there. So we stayed there, being a kid, and also what will you have in the menu? Say, yeah. So I saw the pictures. I saw a chicken and chips, and say, I want this chicken and chips. So hey, there I was I was fed with the chicken and chips. So and a big soda that was a Fanta soda. I can remember very well. So I took and then after I was full, so he asked me what I was doing in the street. So I told him my story, and then he told me, okay, so would you like to go back to school? I was like, yeah, I would love to. So he told me, okay, unfortunately, I'm leaving tonight. So he was leaving actually, was actually like calling I think maybe the airline or so. They were telling me I'm leaving tonight, so I don't have much time here, but next year, time like this, day like this, I'll be here in this hotel. So he wrote down his number, his phone number, and the date, and time. So and I took that paper and I rolled it and I teared my clothes and I put inside. So I put inside my clothes so that it got lost. So every day, every single day, I could take that paper and ask someone, "What's the day today? What's the time?" So I could match I could connect the dots. Okay, not today. So I put back my paper. Every day I could do that till that day, and then say today is this and this. And I was what today is me could see me running on the street back to town where Gavin was. So it was like going there. Gavin was actually highlighting to them to their cab. He was like, hey, did you run here? I said yes. I just it was crazy. Like oh wow, see you know the dates. And he said yeah. So after that he took me to school. So and yeah, I went back to school when I was a very big guy, but I was very determined to learn. So I didn't see any shame whatsoever. So I went and studied it in school with a bunch of small kids. But hey, I was like I don't care. So, regardless, I want to have education. I didn't care at all. So I was there and I did my primary level, then I go to high school. After high school, sorry, I didn't have good grade to go back to go to college. So I had to go back again to the street to find money to go back to go to college. So it took me again almost a year to save up I think $100 in today's money. Took me 1 year to save up. So, and I went for not really a college, but an organization for film school. So it's not a college, really a college, but organization, but was teaching film. So and I was interesting. So say they asked me for registration fees was about 10,000 back then. So that was $100 in translation. So it took me so much time. So I went back to say there's this place called Kikomba, a big place, a big market. Is the biggest bear market in the I think in Africa. or in the, we can say, world too. So I went there. They sell second-hand clothes from Europe, America. So the clothes come here there. So I was always there doing shady job like carrying some garbage, everything, anything I think I could do just to have that small fee. Then I will save up some, I will eat some. So that what took me that much to get into college. And then, yeah, after that, I went to college. I was so determined to study film because that was my passion. I wanted to learn film.
Charles, I am just glowing from the inside of that story you just shared. That is a fantastic story, and thank you for sharing that. Just kind of to reciprocate is what I took out of that, which is again what this show is ultimately about. Is we face challenges in our lives, and do we just go, see, I can't, or the world's telling me that I can't? And your story is brilliant on many levels because you were on the street for a period of time, and something inside you always believed and you wanted more, and you had that interesting chance meeting with this gentleman who was on his phone, and he happened to want to pay it forward. It could have been any other kid, right? It could have been anybody else, but it ended up being you. And I especially like that you having that rolled up paper, and you didn't know what it said, you didn't know what day it was, that you kept checking every single day. And
Yeah,
you used the word at the end there of your story, determined. You were determined. And that's
yeah,
really what I think is the anchor to the show about you, Charles, is your determination to chase your passions and make those things happen. And then the other part is that you went, back on the street because you didn't have the money for college yet. And you took a year to save up $100. Now, $100 for, on this side of the world, this end of the world is, people will, pay, buy a t-shirt that's $100. So for me, when I hear $100 a year to save, it's for you to go on to that next chapter of your education and get to where you want. What an amazing message that is for anybody who would be listening to this or sitting on their couch right now and thinking, oh, I can't, or oh, all the odds are against me. Oh, the world is, doesn't want to see me succeed. And your story is probably one of the best ones that I've heard. Just your sheer determination and then your passion carried you forward, right? It always carried you
yeah,
forward to where you are today. And it makes a lot of sense to me, Charles, as to why you want to pay it forward in the work that you do. And you want to have that impact in people's daily lives, because I see in you that you haven't forgotten where you've come from, right?
yeah,
You instant some people will forget. They just kind of push the past. It's so far down and deep, and they want to forget about it, and they don't remember those days. But I think you carry that with you every day, and I think that's in your pictures where you're looking up. I think it's all of that in those moments kind of coming through you. So beautiful story, Charles. I thank you for sharing that.
thank you.
Yeah. So we talked about different projects you have coming on the go. Where do you see yourself? It's a kind of a classic question, but it's just me being curious. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, Charles?
Wow. 5 years, I want to be, uh, I don't think so, not where I am right now. I want to inspire more and in a positive way to inspire more kids. We know that kid they sitting maybe in the classroom back in the bench and they say, no one understood me. I want them to understand you more. You know, one day I say, hey, I did it because of Charles. Maybe I didn't give up. You know, that's what I want to leave a legacy. Maybe in 5 years back time, I want to be a different person. Maybe not so much different, but positivity different. You know, to people and maybe to that kid always sitting down and always asking why. It's always me, but yeah, it's always you because you can handle it and you can put the world, put yourself in the world out there and can actually win if you put your mind into it.
And I applaud you for, well, you already are. You already are a leader and a mentor in your own ways. And I'm sure, people gravitate towards you because you have that good energy. People love being around that good energy and positivity. But mentoring and showing young people that it's possible. It's kind of like you get to tell your story too and say, look, yeah, hi, I'm Charles, and I'm an example that you can make things happen in your life if you are determined enough to do that. And it's the same for me. I like these shows and being able to have different people on to tell their story because life comes with challenges, as we all know. And I think we all deserve to be happy. It's something that it's a burning thing in me. We all deserve to be happy, but what does that look like? Right? Sometimes people have a hard time defining what happy is, like picking a career, or you are and I are very much the same because you used the word legacy just a moment ago. And I'm a big legacy person in the sense of leaving a daily legacy. Like we talked about at the beginning of the show, it's just making somebody smile. That's a legacy. That's a for that moment, Charles made me smile. It's like, hey, great. So, and I think I'm pretty certain that you walk away from your day needing like a sense of fulfillment. Like I did something with my day today. It was productive. That you just didn't waste it. Would that be accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm. Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool. Um, so here we're approaching the hour mark, and sometimes these shows go a little bit longer and whatnot. But I think, another question that I had for you was, so do you plan on living and staying where you are for the rest of your life, or do you have aspirations to reach out and maybe move somewhere else because of work or any other interests?
Actually, yes. So I want to, me. I'm a free bird. I love going to somewhere I'm not known. You know, and maybe they say someone. I believe someone that's a stranger came and made me smile. That's the made that would be amazing for me because I don't want to stay somewhere too long. I always want to be always on the move somewhere else. Yeah,
Okay. And that probably allows you to have different opportunities with your cinematography too, right? Because if
yeah,
you're always in the same spot or same area, you kind of run out of, I guess, material or opportunities versus being a free bird and being able to go out there and explore for new things. So that's awesome. I'm proud of you. Eh? Like I look back at Solio, Kenya,
yeah,
13, for almost 14 years ago, and it's hard to believe that it was that long ago, and that connected, us and a group of us, and it's neat to see everybody grow up, especially Eric Larange, who's a father now, right?
yeah,
And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, like these are like high school kids, and I remember being in the
yeah,
Gatineaus doing a webisode with the group and climbing in the snow and hiking and just seeing some young, vibrant people being excited about this opportunity, and just to see them grow up, and likewise for you. And that's what, Facebook has its place. It's an opportunity to share and to stay connected, and to see what everybody's up to. So I know we weren't able to talk about the specifics of some of the stuff that's coming up, but I am so looking forward to the fall for you. I'm sure you're pretty excited.
yeah.
So I'll be sharing that stuff along the way too as it starts rolling out. So I want to thank you very much, Charles, for taking the time to be on this show, and sharing with me and the viewing audiences just what's possible if you have a willing heart and a good attitude. And I believe that good things do come to good people, and that whole karma thing. So you're a wonderful man, Charles. Thank you for
Thank you,
being
thank you.
on the show and giving me your time. And I look forward to more great things that you're going to be working on.
I'm humble. I'm humble. Say hi to Casanova for me. Roger.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, Roger is. He'll either watch this at a later date or whatnot. But you're definitely. I almost wore the hustle hard hat today. I forgot to grab it because you're a hustler. You're the perfect example of what hustle means, man. People have different ideas of what hustling means, but when you go from having nothing and being on the street and looking for food and what your next meal is, and then to where you are today, that's the pinnacle of hustle. So I'm proud of you. Keep it up. Don't take your foot off the gas pedal. You're gonna accomplish some amazing things, Charles.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll chat soon. Thanks for your time.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Cheers.